Yo, what's good, guys? We are back on MLB The Show, and I want to do a video today that I haven't done in a while. As you can see in the top right, there is roughly 5 days remaining in this season before the start of Set 5. So, some Set 3 cards that we all love, like J-Ram, Ellie, Acuna, Adley Rutschman, and more, John Donaldson. All of them will be ineligible for ranked. So unless you're going to use a wild card spot on some of those cards, which I wouldn't necessarily advise it, but if you do really like those cards, if you feel like they're essential to your team, you can definitely go that route. I just think there's better options to use your wild card on. I want to just go over where you need to be on the game right now if you are actively playing it, if you are trying to get your team better, if you do want to be in the best spot that you can be. So basically, we are going to start with the collections, right? You can see I have all of the set collections. I've done every set, all the cards in every set. I have probably the rarest card in the game in this Pedro Martinez. You pretty much never see this card. He doesn't really exist. You can see I didn't even superfractor mine. I've been doing all the collections. Basically, you need to be kind of, winding this up, getting towards the end of the set. And there's a ton of ways to do it for free. Unfortunately, a big part of that is this team affinity. I think it's like 95 cards, something like that. So it is a pretty substantial chunk of the set 4 collection. But there's a lot of other avenues you can go down for these set 4 cards. If you finish all of these playoff programs, if you want to go that route, that is a ton of cards. I'd probably stay away from these trick-or-treat things. They're not really worth it. Knock out your tops now. That is a ton of cards for you. Career Tribute is a lot of cards. You get all of these like set Career Tribute cards, and then you get all these packs. If you get enough of these packs, you're pretty much guaranteed more or less to get all of them or the subs to buy all of those cards and collect those. Pennant Chase is the exact same way. There's a lot of good cards in there. Obviously, you have all those playoff programs you can start knocking out. You have all the Tops Now programs. That's probably like 40 cards, give or take. You've got the Great Race of 98. That's a lot of cards and some valuable packs if you haven't already done that. You've got the Clemente stuff. You can do that. You got your 2 monthly programs. You've got J-Rod counts for this month, as well as Juan Soto. We had a big set. So some of these tops cards, I think the last few count. Yeah. So these last 2 sections count if you want to do those. It is a lot if you haven't already done those. And then we might get some more additional program stuff coming in the last few days of the season. So basically, I would focus on trying to wrap up the season, get the cards you want, which brings me to my next talking point. Go buy the cards you want, right? This is the cheapest they are going to be, point blank, period. A lot of set 3 cards are going to be cheap as people are looking to sell them off since they won't be eligible anymore. So if you do want some of these set 3 cards for when set 6 happens, which will be like wild card everything, like everything is eligible for ranked, it could be a good time to start looking into buying some of those as people kind of panic sell and look to move off a lot of those set 3 cards. Could be a very good time to do that. Additionally, if you want certain BR cards, obviously they are very expensive. But if you want certain BR cards or ranked, for example, you can see we're very close to World Series on this account. I've been setting it up for an Inside the Mind. If you want these cards, this is probably the cheapest they will ever be. Because SDS has made no way to be able to get previous World Series rewards on your team. This is the cheapest these cards will be. I think there's 5 days exactly left in this season. This is around about the cheapest they'll ever be. And they might actually rise the last few days as people start to realize that and buy these cards up. So if you want any of these, go ahead and buy them. If you want to look at them as investments, you can do that. These event cards are also a good little investment. Like, where's he at? Santander. I bought this card for 400K because I really wanted to use them. I'm not really stressing about losing 200K on him already. This is probably the lowest he will ever be. This is going to be a very sought after card in the game. He's one of the best first basemen, one of the best DHs in the entire game. If you want this card, you should go get it now. This is the lowest it will ever be. Yes, you can, grind events later to get him as a non-sell, but in general, right, as an auctionable card, this will be the lowest he will ever be. If you want these bosses, this is the lowest they will ever be. They are literally quick sell value. Basically, they can only go up from here, even if you don't have that many stubs to spare. Worst case, you quick sell these cards down the road, you lose, 1.5k on each of them. So if you do want these bosses, if you want them for team builds, if you want them for maybe captains down the road that we don't know about yet, go buy them now. They're the cheapest they're going to be. Same for these pennant race cards. Right now, they are actually quick sell value. You can put in an order for 10,000 stubs, 10,001 stubs, and somebody will sell them to you and purposely cost themselves 1,000 stubs after tax. So if you want these cards for free, you can go buy them right now. They probably won't stay here forever because the demand, right? They're handing out these pennant chase packs, these career tribute packs like they're candy. Would have been nice to get some in the trick or treat event instead of what we got. But basically, they're just handing these out to everybody. I doubt that keeps going. They will eventually be over quick sell value. If you want like these event cards like Josh Bell, he's probably only going to go up. A lot of these cards are only going to go up. This is going to be the lowest point for a ton of these cards that you see. Randy, this is probably going to be his lowest point because he will be out of the chase pack after this. He won't be pullable anymore unless they do like those bundled chase packs where it's multiple chase pack players. Randy will be out, so if you want Randy, you should go get him now. I would probably highly advise it because he's by far the best pitcher in the game after John leaves. John will not be eligible for ranked anymore. He will be, slightly better than Kluber just because he has outlier and he's got that dominant arm position. But any of those cards like that you want are probably only going to go up in value. You can see Trout is already 1 million stubs because he's in everybody's lineup. And his chase pack is not there anymore. You can't get Trout out of a chase pack anymore, so his demand has gone up. I would expect a similar thing to happen with Randy. He is a starting pitcher, so obviously there's probably going to be a cap on where he gets to. But if you do want Randy Johnson, if you do want Johnny Cueto, Chiriot, Nolan Arenado, now would be the time to go get them. BR, for example, I haven't even touched BR, but if you were going to, you need to be knocking that out. You've got 9 days on BR, so these cards will be, supplied for the next 9 days instead of 5 days, but ranked will reset on Friday, right? So you're coming up on the end of these cards. If you do want one of these, I'm not sure why you would really want Nelson, but if you do want him, you can get him. If you want Darvish, this card's very good on Legend, Hall of Fame. I'd give him some pause. I did just light him up in the Hoff game. I'm not sure if I absolutely love him for that. This James Woods card is decent. He's all right. I think Darvish is really the only pick here making most people's team. I like Nelson. I like Wood. They're just not really the most comp players at the moment. So that's what I would be doing. I would be grinding out these programs, right? If you're not going to make World Series, don't grind rank. Just kind of, devote your time into knocking out some of these programs. Get the collection cards you want. If you only want Mookie and Fox, knock that out. If you like your second baseman or you can't stand Fox's swing, which I think is an insane argument because he's a push hitter. I'm hitting 421 with, you can't see the home runs, 4 home runs with him. And I was off to a really, really slow start with him. But now we're good. So basically, if you want Fox, if you want Mookie, if you want Kluber, your window's closing. I think this is by far the easiest season to get all of the set collection rewards. I mean, they're just handing cards out like candy. I'm not too sure how many cards are eligible for this set. I didn't even go through all the mini season cards. I would probably not be doing mini seasons right now if I were you. Just an idea. So there's 4 cards in each of these columns. You need 260 for the whole collection. I mean, there's probably what 320, 340 cards here if I just had to, throw a number out there. So I think this is the easiest set to get all of the boss rewards. If you're not doing it, I think you're gonna miss out because I think all the cards are the best at their position, right? I think Mookie is a top 3 outfielder. I think he is the best second baseman. I think Jimmy Fox is the best first baseman. I think he's a top 2 catcher. And Kluber is a top 2 pitcher. On Legend, maybe you could argue he's even better than that Randy, but on all other difficulties, it won't really be close. So that is it, guys. That is kind of the checklist. I think you need to start doing these things. You got 5 days left to do them. Obviously, you can bleed this into next season, but I'm not sure if you're going to want to, just because, we're going to get another Team Affinity. It is inevitable. That grind is coming back in 5 days. Nobody's looking forward to it, especially not me. I knocked it out in like 2-3 days last time, and it sucks. It sucks. Nobody likes Team Affinity in its current state, but it's coming soon. So you're going to have a lot to grind coming up really soon. So I would kind of divide your attention, focus on getting this set done as much as you want, and buy up all the cards you want. I would not be holding on to stubs. If you want an example, right, of the event cards. If you don't believe me, this is all you guys see. Where's the app? It didn't keep the team. All right, let's go back then. This card is now 1,000,000 stubs. If you just wanted to straight up buy him, when he was an event reward, he was like 300k, 250k. It was a 12-0 reward. I went for him like 2 tries, didn't get him. It was what it was. It was just a bad day. But look at him now, right? He's a 12-0 reward. He's 1,000,000 stubs. And I think that's the way a lot of these are going to go. You look at Britton, BR reward. He's meta, so people want him. He's 1,000,000 stubs. I think we're going to see a similar thing with Yu Darvish. We're going to see a similar thing with like Santander, with Josh Bell. More so Santander, but if you like these, look at Marcelo, right? This is what you're looking at is probably the best shortstop in the game, not named Elly De La Cruz, and his price is already up, right? He's out of BR. People are speculating that they're going to be using him headed into next season if we don't get new shortstops, so he's up. This Devers card, when he was the World Series award, was like 250k. Now he's 600. Because he's meta, people want to use him, and he's set 3, right? He's probably dropped a little bit because he's set 3 and people are getting rid of him. So look to invest. It is easy to make stubs right now if you want to invest for a moderate term hold, right? If you buy these cards and hold them for a couple weeks, bang, you're making money. Even look at Mickey, right? Mickey was like what 220, 240 at one point when everybody was panic selling him. He's 450k now because people are going to want to wildcard him. They're going to want to use him when set 6 comes back. And that's pretty much it, right? You can buy any meta card that people are going to want on their team. It's going to be great. I think this Longo was a BR reward, right? Or something like that. He's 1,000,000 stubs right now just because of how rare he is. Will you sell him for that? Probably not. Same for Bichette. Same for a lot of these cards, right? Just look for meta cards that people are going to want. Santana, his supply could dry up quite a bit if they don't start throwing that into packs or into paths. If they don't throw his pack into paths soon. Who else? Who else is going to be meta? I mean, look at this Byron Buxton card. This card sucks. He stinks. He is awful. I batted 478 with 8 home runs with him, and I will sit here and tell you this card sucks. He is an all-star demon card, and look at his price. He is basically 1,000,000 stubs just because there is no way to get him anymore. That's all you need to know. That card sucks. This Nolan Ryan, I sold him for like 220k when I got him. Should just held him, right? He's 400k now. You can make stubs just by betting on the inflation. This Vlad card came out forever ago. I forget exactly what he was. Bang. He's 400k. I mean, I can keep going. Like, if you think a card, Randy is meta. Randy will be in people's rotation until set 6, where they'll probably swap back to the collection reward one because it has slightly better control. This card will probably be 600, 700k if I had to bet. Even this Griffey, right? This Griffey was like 70k at one point. Just because people want Griffey, people are going to wildcard this card. They're not going to go do the extreme moment because it's difficult. He's 200k. It is not hard to make subs right now. This Michael Young sucks. He was 240k when he came out. Now he's 500. Like, any of these cards, man. Like, it's not hard. This Jason Hayward. Who wants this Jason Hayward? Nobody wants this Jason Hayward, but he's 500k just because of the rarity. He's hard to get. Any card like that. This Max Fried, I know I sit here and say he's trash and, you know, like, absolutely, like, light him up all the time in the tier list. Somebody's going to want this card. I guarantee you somebody is about to sell him to me. They're going to lose 1,000 stubs, and I'll be able to sell him back for 16, 17k down the line if I want. He'll probably just sit in my binder. This Josh Bell, could not tell you what I bought him at. Oh, I finally got all my New York and those to get through. If you want an investing tip for next year, pause the video right there, learn a thing or two. Basically, this Josh Bell, I forget what I bought him at. I have too many processed orders now to see. It was probably like 220, 240k. I'm not sweating it. He's going to be 300, 400k in no time. Like any card, you can invest in any card. It's not hard. I'm not gonna keep going through. Right, we made it through the entire AL. I'm sure there's plenty of good other NL cards, but Randy Johnson would be my main advice. And I'm not saying to buy multiple Randys or anything like that, but I mean, if you want to, you could. But at least have him on your team, right? You have the best pitcher in the game, and he's only going to appreciate in value. Might as well go do it. That's it, guys. That's a checklist. That's what I think you guys need to be doing. If you did enjoy the content, if this was helpful at all, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe. Till next time. Peace.